My child is anaphylactic to most tree nuts. What can we eat to get similar nutrients? For example, can I eat walnuts? So in the place of nuts, you could always use seeds. Sunflower seeds are super nutritionally dense. Sesame seeds are amazing for the high levels of zinc and other sesamin that open up your pituitary gland. But yeah, sunflower, really good. There's so many different kinds of seeds, chia seeds, um, seeds, amazing. And I would say with really clean eating, and eating a lot of seeds, and a lot of times I think if you mix dried fruits and nuts and seeds together, it's a perfect ratio that's really good for digestion and really good for the body. And if you could have like microdoses, so let's say your son eats or your child eats a walnut and what gets like inflammation of the lips. What happens if it's like an anaphylactic response and it's really bad? What I would recommend is first of all germinating the nuts. So you actually soak walnuts overnight, chop them up into tiny little pieces after they dry, and take one of those tiny little pieces and have him rub it on his lips every single day. And there's probably not going to be a reaction. If there is a reaction, just a little bit, rub it on the lip every day, a little bit. And eventually the reaction will go away. And if there is no reaction or the reaction goes away, you can have him just chew a little bit or put a tiny, like that one little tiny bit of a chopped up, sprouted, germinated walnut into something else, into a cereal, into a smoothie, tiny amount, so that there is no reaction. And I can almost guarantee if you put such a tiny amount into some kind of other food, there's not going to be any reaction whatsoever. Okay? Tiny amount. And as you're making it, say, there will be no reaction. This will be received with love. Say it. Speak it. Okay? Because mothers have the power of word, and as you speak, you can speak into the food you're preparing, and the vibration has a positive effect on the children. Even if you want children to do certain things or act certain ways, you can speak about how they're acting that way or doing that thing into the food, and the vibration carries over. Okay? It's truly powerful. And so what you would do is go from microdosing to a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until there is no reaction. And this is actually really important because if you avoid the thing that they're reacting to, eventually they're going to react to then a pecan, and then eventually to something else. The thing we need to understand about nuts is they are some of the highest forms of nutrition, and they have powerful detoxification pathway nutrients that they deliver to the body. In fact, the word nutrition represents a high level of light activator changed into a process. Nutrition is a process of light, these activating nutrients that come in. So the word nut is the first part of nutrition because there's such a high density of light and nutrients and things inside of this little tiny package, of which if there is something inside of the body that needs to be cleared and detoxified, nuts are something that cause these reactions. Now, first of all, I would say that we do probably need to germinate and soak them. You can just soak them overnight. Walnuts in a glass of water, let it sit overnight, rinse it and wash it out, and then chop them up and put them in your cereals, put them in different things. Same thing with any kind of nut, really, especially nuts that have a brown shell. So yes, that's what I recommend, is little by little by little, getting over the nut allergy. And then, because walnuts are one of the highest antioxidants out of any food on the planet. People think, like acai and berries and all these things, super high antioxidant. And that's the truth. And walnuts are higher. So walnuts are really powerful food for the brain, really powerful food as an antioxidant, and for clearing any type of toxicity or problem inside of our body.